Hello students, my name is Teacher Mark, your science teacher. Today's lesson we're going to study about gas exchange, respiration. Gas exchange of carbon dioxide for oxygen. Need respiratory surface needs to be thin for diffusion, needs to be moist for diffusion, and needs to be in contact with gases. Now let's proceed to the next slide. Gas exchange for process. Gas exchange for process, we have carbon dioxide out, then oxygens in. Respiratory surface in the cell membrane, what drives the diffusion? Let's go to gas exchange in Hydra. Diffusions through cells membranes or respiratory surface. Let's check here. Oxygens comes in this area and carbon dioxide comes out in this area. That is the gas exchange in Hydra. Let's proceed to gas exchange in worm. Worms lives in a moist soil. Then oxygens from air goes into soil. Thin mucus coated skin is their respiratory surface. Gas exchange across skin. If skin dries, they suffocate. Worms can also drown in water in low oxygen levels in water compared to air. So carbon dioxide out and oxygens in their skin. That is the gas exchange in worm. But how do the gases get transported to the center of the worm? Need a transport system. Need a vessels. Need blood with oxygen carrying molecule. A respiratory pigment, for example, hemoglobin. 100 ml of water can carry 0.2 ml of oxygen. 100 ml of blood can carry 20.0 ml of oxygen. This is the need a transport system for every organism. Now let's go to gas exchange for grasshopper. For gas exchange of grasshopper, here we have this area, we call it one spiracles. A spiracles is 5 pairs of openings allow oxygen comes in and carbon dioxide comes out. Let's see another picture. Here are the pictures of spiracles opening. In this area, oxygen comes in and also carbon dioxide comes out. And also, to transport the oxygen to the body, we have a tracheal tubes. So now let's proceed to the next slide. Gas exchange for grasshopper. We're going to highlight the tracheal tubes branch through body. They end with a moist, thin membrane that butts up against body cell. or respiratory surface. Body movements allow for air to come and out of tracheal system. No hemoglobin in blood, and blood not used for gas transport. That is for gas exchange for grasshopper. Let's proceed to the next slide. Gas exchange for aquatic organism. For aquatic organism, they have gills. Gills, layers of tissue rich in blood. Then large surface area. And also oxygen gas is dissolved in water or H2O. Then water with oxygen gas wash over gills. Next one is exchange gases. Need constant flow of water over gills or they suffocate. Gills covered by operculum flap. This is for gas exchange for aquatic organism. They use gills. Here, fish gills and the diffusion process. Check this one here in the entrance. Water comes in, which rich in oxygen, go to oxygenated blood. Then low oxygen comes out with low oxygenated blood. That is the gills of the aquatic organism. Here we have gills arc and also gill filament. Water comes in, bring oxygen to the blood and remove low oxygen to the blood through the gills. Now let's proceed to the next slide. Gas exchange for humans. Respiratory surface, lungs. For human, we have this organ we call lungs. These lungs have bronchi part of respiratory system, but not part of lungs. These are the organs of respiratory system. We have primary bronchus, then we have secondary bronchus, then alveoli enlarge, then alveoli. Then we have a terminal bronchiole here, and then tertiary bronchus. These are the part of the respiratory system for gas exchange for human. Let's check the air. In our atmosphere, we have 79% nitrogen gas, then we have 20.9% oxygen, then 0.4% of carbon dioxide. So we inhale these gases into our lungs. Then exhale, we have 79% nitrogen gas and also 16.3% oxygen, then 4.5% carbon dioxide. That is the inhale, or we call it one breathe in and breathe out. Let's go to the next slide. For next slide, we have route of air. First, number one, we have nasal passage. Number 2, we have pharynx. Number 3, we have larynx. For number 1, for nasal passages, hair for filtration, mucus to moisten air, blood vessel to warm air, then don't get this with mouth breathing. For second, pharynx, then next to larynx or voice bags, with vocal cords made of cartilage. Let's check the picture here. These are the nasal cavity. Pass to inner vocal cords here, larynx. Then we have vocal cords for larynx. So these are the nasal cavities or nasal passages of air. Let's go to the next slide. Root of air. Highlights. Now let's go to trachea, or we call it one windpipe. Get opened by rings of cartilage lined with selected mucous membrane and coughing reflex. Here, this area is the larynx. Next to the larynx is trachea, then bronchus. These are the passage, or we call it one windpipe, or trachea. We have very good information here. We have tobacco smoke paralyzed cilia, or 1 cigarette of 20 minutes of paralysis. Also increase mucus production. Let's go to number 5. We have root of air. Then we have bronchi, ring, tooth, slit. Then we have bronchial tubes. 1. Bronchioles, no rings, tiny tubes, open into, then alveoli. Let's check. Terminal bronchioles here. Then we have respiratory bronchioles here. Alveolar dust, alveoli. Then we have alveolar sacs. These are the root of air. Now let's watch a video to understand more about gas exchange of organisms.
As already explained in a previous video on the 7 life processes, respiration is carried out by all living things. Animals need oxygen to carry out aerobic respiration, and they need to get rid of the other waste product called carbon dioxide. This is called gas exchange, swapping one gas for another. Animals have evolved different mechanisms for carrying out gaseous exchange. Look at this polar bear. It is a mammal, and all mammals have lungs in order to exchange gases between the blood and the atmosphere. This shark is a fish. Fish have internal gills to get oxygen out the water as they swim along. Some animals, such as the Mexican salamander, have their gills on the outside. What about this locust? It is an insect, and a lot of insects use a system of tubes called a trachea for exchanging gases. Amphibians, such as this poison dart frog, also have lungs like mammals, but can get some oxygen through their moist, permeable skin as well. These are all special in their own way, but they also have a few things in common which make them good at exchanging gases. The most important thing is to create a large surface area. The bigger the surface area, the faster the diffusion of the gases can occur. The total surface area for a human set of lungs is about 75 meters squared, which is as big as a badminton court, and it's all packed into your chest. Secondly, they all have a good blood supply. You want to get oxygen into the blood and carbon dioxide out as quickly as possible, so the blood travels very close to the exchange surface to once again maximise diffusion. You can see that they have a good blood supply as the gills on the fish are bright red. The blood needs to be taken away from the exchange area quickly so that you maintain the concentration gradient between the two areas. Diffusion happens quickly when there is lots of gas in one place and not very much in the other. This is called the concentration gradient. So as soon as oxygen enters the blood, it needs to be transported away so that more can enter the blood next time you breathe in. Being moist also helps dissolve the gases and speed up exchange. So there you have it. Animals have developed different systems to achieve the same thing. Take oxygen out of the air and put carbon dioxide in it.
Take a deep breath. If you feel like you're going up and getting a little bit taller, you're breathing so wrong. Breathing wrong is when you use your neck and shoulders to pick up your thoracic cavity. So do this now. Take a deep breath and watch. If you feel like you're going up and getting a little bit taller and then you come down and settle down on your exhale, that's actually a dysfunctional breath. At 5 and under, I've found that most kids breathe perfectly. So a number of things happen so that when you ask a 10-year-old to breathe, they start breathing with that upper body breath that's actually anatomically incongruous and leads to us being in fight and flight, more anxious, having neck and shoulder pain, not being able to sleep, and having digestive problems. So how did we get there? Number one is that child starts sitting a lot. They start going to school. We sit way too much, 13 to 16 hours a day. Number two is injuries. If you're a little kid and all of a sudden you start skateboarding or skiing, anything that hurts the middle of your body, you immediately stop inhaling and expanding because it hurts. And your breath goes all the way up here to be an upper body or a vertical breath. You start wearing waistbands, bra straps, compression garments. You start sucking in your gut, and all of a sudden that breath that was perfect before you were 5 turns into a dysfunctional one as an adult, and it stays there until you fix it right now. A good breath, a breath that's anatomically congruous, it goes with the rest of your body, is that you inhale and you expand your body. Neck and shoulders don't move. You expand all the way around, 360 degrees. You come forwards a little bit, your sides open up, and even your back opens up. And if you want to see what this looks like, look at your dog, your cat, your fish, any animal on the planet except for us, and you'll see them breathe perfectly, 360 degrees all the way around, expanding on the inhale and contracting, wringing out, getting narrower on the exhale. No neck and shoulder movement.